It looks like the Derek Chisora Jarrell Miller fight has fallen through, and it looks like instead Derek Chisora is set to face Otto Wallin, which I believe is a much easier stylistic matchup for a man who's had so many wars in his career and is looking at his 49th fight. Before we start, please like, comment and subscribe. That would really help me grow the channel. So, thoughts? Well, first off, I do feel a bit sorry for Jarrell Miller because from what I've read, it sounds like he's having some real contractual problems with his manager. You know, he thought he was done, but then, his last promotion bringing up with his contract, and it sounds like he was in a sort of really bad, angry mood and sounded like he'd been messed around a bit. So yeah, I definitely do feel sorry for Jarrell Miller a bit, but yeah, I definitely feel relief for Coach Chisora. This is a guy who I don't want to see take, any more punches to the head, and I felt that Jarrell Miller was stylistically a very difficult night's work for Derek Chisora. A huge guy who's going to come forward, put it on you. You're going to take a lot of damage. I think someone who's going to be very difficult to get rid of or drop just because he's so big. So yeah, definitely relief that instead he's facing Otto Wallin. I mean, is Otto Wallin necessarily an easy night's work? I mean, Anthony Joshua took care of him fairly easily, but TalkSport and all that are talking up how he did have a good night against Fury, gave him a big cut, pushed him right to the edge. And I think that was, the night after his dad died, so he would have had a lot of fire in his belly. And it was an undersized Tyson Fury, John Fury was going about, John Fury was talking about all his concerns about how weak Tyson Fury was before the fight. So yeah, obviously I give Otto Wallin credit for that performance, but in general, yeah, I feel like it's a easier night's work for Chisora. Going to take less head damage. Otto Wallin, I think he's 27-2. He's got quite a low knockout ratio, only 15. So yeah, he's not going to be hitting someone, he's not going to be receiving sort of fierce punches back. And I think people forget that Chisora is a really big hitter himself. A lot of heavyweights who have fought him have said that, Chisora, he just hits really hard, but he doesn't quite have that, boxing IQ or chin to, be right at the top level of the sport. Usyk said that Chisora was the hardest hitter he'd ever faced, but, he'd only just come up to heavyweight at the time. He was in his second fight at heavyweight. Dave Allen as well said that Chisora, hits like a truck. So I think stylistically this is better for Derek Chisora. Yeah, I do think Derek Chisora can get rid of him. I feel like it's the sort of right progressive set for Otto Wallin as well. Obviously, he's had a comeback after his loss to AJ. Derek Chisora near the end of his career. Still a tough fight, coming off a good win against Joe Joyce. But this is the right step in revitalizing his career. But, my initial thoughts is I do expect Chisora to win. We've seen that Otto Wallin can be susceptible to power punches. So I do think if Chisora lands on Wallin, it should be, I think he should be able to hurt Wallin enough and get his respect to maybe get him out of there or win a decision. Yeah, I don't know enough about Otto Wallin really to say if he could win. Obviously, he's had some decent wins against some smaller guys in his career, Gassiev, for example, but, against big heavyweights, he has come up short, against Tyson Fury and AJ, even though the Tyson Fury performance was good, ultimately, unfortunately, he did still come up short. So yeah. And as for the rest of Derek Chisora's career, it sounds like he wants to get to 50 fights. He wants to do his 50th fight in Zimbabwe. So obviously this will be his last fight in the UK, assuming things will go to plan. Yeah, I do like Derek Chisora, I like the fact that he's had a lot of losses, but he's still, keep on going. He still keeps on going. He's got a big fan base. I guess he's lost to a few guys he shouldn't have lost to. But, he's got a really big fan base. He's got some good wins. Everyone loves his heart. Everyone comes to watch him. He's brought a lot of chaotic moments, maybe not great moments, but, that chair flip, against David Hay was pretty iconic. But I think, yeah, most people at this stage of his career are just a bit concerned about him, You can hear the way he slurs his speech a little bit. And I was quite concerned at him. I was quite concerned for him after that Joe Joyce fight. I know that he'd won, but he was absolutely finished after that fight, He nearly collapsed. I think, did they have to give him oxygen or something? But, he had, he was completely, out of it at the end of that fight against Joe Joyce. But again, huge credit, because that is a good win, even if it's a slightly faded Joe Joyce. And yeah, I mean, and there's still that argument, right, that Derek Chisora had the best game plan against Alexander Usyk. Did he get the closest to beating him? Maybe. Don't try and box him, just rough him up, use your size, just be annoying in there, keep at him, do unorthodox things that he's not expecting. I mean, obviously it didn't work, but yeah, it was a good plan, right? A lot of people have been like, why didn't AJ or Fury do that? But you've got to think about the dimensions, right? Chisora is a smaller guy, so he'll be working from different angles than say a Tyson Fury or a AJ. But yeah, all in all, I feel a lot of relief with this fight. I had concerns that something bad might happen if we saw him in there with someone like Jarrell Miller, who walks forward, throws a lot of punches, keeps going, pretty decent gas tank. He went 10 rounds with Dan Dubois on short notice. So Otto Wallin, yeah, I feel this is a better fight, a little bit less dangerous for his 49th fight in his career. Definitely a winnable fight. But maybe Otto Wallin will have the boxing IQ to avoid Chisora's big punches. Who knows? But yeah, an exciting fight and a less concerning fight from a head trauma perspective. So yeah, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Goodbye.